That's pretty cool. We'll have to talk about that some at lunch. Several of you came up to me at the break asking about Margie math, you know? So I want to make a couple of quick points about this, and then I'd like to take the rest of my 10 minutes here before Len comes up and talks about the state programs to talk a little bit about the way in which Asheville, I think, is for an example of a city that's in really good position to maybe take advantage of some of these things and what you can, and target that to what you can do in some of your own local cities to get started. We've already begun to hear some important steps. But somebody came up and said, kilowatt per what? All right, and so kilowatt per what? All right, so this is just a really important little technical point that I want to make because it helps people to understand things. You get your bill every month. I wish I only came once a year. You get your bill every month and it says, I used this many kilowatt hours of electricity, right? So that kilowatt hours is the actual total amount of electricity that your house used. You used it just like you drove here. I came from Asheville, I came 150 miles to get here. Now, over that 150 miles, I drove at a variety of different rates, including one that was a little too fast and the state trooper got me. So I went everywhere from 0 miles per hour to 70 miles per hour over that 150.
Over the peak is what you're telling us?
Right. So we know now what the peak was. Mr. Officer told me what the peak was. Right? And that in your electricity, right, that peak, the miles per hour, is equivalent to your kilowatt. That's the demand. Your house demands a certain amount of electricity at any given time. If you have a central air conditioning system, that air conditioning system, if you have a relatively normal size house, is a 2 or 3 ton system. When it's running full out, it's demanding 2 or 3 kilowatts, 1,000 watts of electricity. And you can reduce that demand by 1 kilowatt, my argument says, by replacing old single pane windows with the minimum code compliant windows for North Carolina. So that's the argument. That's how I got to those numbers, and that I wanted to make that point because it is a technical point, and Dave Pritchard and I were just having a conversation, which is that while the idea here is not for all of us to become energy nerds, it is important that we try to kind of understand the basic concepts together so that when we go in to talk to our public officials, when we go into the corporate boardroom, we can use some of these arguments about the power of energy efficiency to make the argument. So another quick example of that would be that right now in the state of Florida, they're looking at building a 2,200 megawatt nuclear power plant. The cost on that power plant, the estimated cost before they ever build the thing is $17 billion. It'll probably be double that if they actually ever build it. But if we say it's 20 billion, because that makes the math go easier. And now suppose instead of spending that 20 billion, we spent $5,000 per home in efficiency improvements. All right? And we'll make some assumptions here. These are just assumptions, but how many homes could you fix for $20 billion at $5,000 per home? Well, you could fix about 4 million homes, which happens to be every home in North Carolina. Every home in North Carolina could be fixed for the same amount of money that it would take to build one nuclear power plant. And if, from that fix, you manage to save that 1 kilowatt of demand at the peak time, peak power savings of 1 kilowatt, 1 ton, all right? That's 4 million kilowatts, or 4,000 megawatts. So in rough estimates, you're getting twice the power for the same amount of money. That's the power of energy efficiency. That's the power of energy efficiency, okay? And and suppose my math is wrong. Suppose I'm wrong by, maybe it's half that. Maybe you only get the same amount of power, but you also get all these other ancillary benefits. So even if the numbers aren't right. we were talking right at the break, and I don't want to steal Len's thunder, but you know, if you build a commercial building that's 25% more efficient than code, the building's going to, the avoided cost of the energy that building's going to use is going to pay back for the amount of work so that has to go into making that building more energy efficient.